That's right, everybody. Always welcome to Psycho's Platters. Always powered by coffee each and every time. This was a last minute, it's called the last minute edition, last minute show edition. Why? Because, well, Stephen Schnee was having his ski lodge broadcast, and I was chiming myself into there to expecting to listen to, as he always does, great shows, to discover that, well, good old YT, those bastards over there took down his show. I'm like, what? There's got to be YouTube has got to get their head out of their ass and get their act together in regards to being able to allow YouTubers like us to thank you. I had it. I know I had it last Monday, but I hope you're feeling better. I really do. Okay. I meant to call you today, honestly, but well, it was a busy day. My life, That's right. You know what? I am going to tell them, because we're not getting a damn dime. Hi. Hello. Haircut. And this. And anybody that wants to come on, please. I always say this, but I'm hoping for an hour and a half. This is going to be a shorty, okay? It has to be. So the thing is, we are not making a dime off of this, okay? We're not making it. The record companies, they're the ones making the money. YouTube probably gets a small cut. We don't make anything. We post the Steven does an awesome show. He plays stuff that we've heard and stuff that we haven't heard. I hope somehow the kinks in the YT system, Steven will be able to continue doing This is Ski Lodge. But if not, hopefully we have advance notice and we know. Hey, Donna, you seem to be an expert in that kind of stuff. What format suggestion, Donna, Joe Cat Lady, would you give for Stephen Schnee to be able to put on a 3 to 4 hour show every week? And it would just be, all of the tunes from various places. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Mason and Doc right immediately into the stream. Doc, I just saw you moments ago, but I'm like, you know what? The mighty Psycho could not leave the void empty.
I was watching to see if somebody would take up the void. So
that's what I'm figured for an hour and a half. Oh, you know what? Look at there you go. Is making YouTube protest signs. Yes, we you go,
Tim.
YouTube.
We're going.
And I'm telling you, I know that you guys probably think I'm a whiny bitch already, but let's be correct. I'm a whiny fat bitch. So the thing is, YouTube basically is, so it's like biting the hand that feeds us. We all have channels on this YouTube, but like Mason will play some stuff. He takes down his stream. I don't play music. I would love to play music, but I know what would happen.
Well, they haven't started really. They haven't really started bugging me about it until recently. Like I remember on. It might have been.
Hold on a minute.
I think it was the 8-hour Elvis show that they actually suspended my stream.
Bastard.
It's so disappointing. I look
right in the middle of
every Tuesday night.
You don't fucking do that to Davy Jones. I know.
Davy, how did they do this to Davy?
Davy. You don't do it to Davy. No, all right, quick. We'll get this over with. Quick. Get it over with right now. Get it over with. There he goes. Doc's running. Now he's like, oh, shit, I didn't have to expect partridge. This is all your fault, rotten on YouTube. You started. Okay.
Really, the partridge.
Okay.
Nope, don't have anything
now,
with him.
now you're little Richard. No,
Wait,
I'm
you're
kidding.
out.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Wait.
Oh, come
No!
on. Come on.
We're going to get dinged!
I was kidding.
That's what's on my screen right now. My screen changes every half hour, and that's what's on my screen right now.
Oh,
That's Kismet. That is BC Kismet.
thank you,
So-
Mike Mason.
Yes, thank you, Mike Mason. Look at this. So I love it. I love it. I
Hello,
love it.
Mike Mason.
Donna Joe Cat Lady goes rumble. Yeah, you're damn right. We need a rumble. Somebody get the chains, the switchblade knives, and the sawed-off baseball bats.
And they
will
got
go
him
to town.
quick. It was the first set. He hadn't even talked yet. They got him in the first set.
Twice.
Bastards.
Twice in the
Bastard.
first set.
And it was so disappointing. The screen went black, and it was like, this stream has been removed due to copyright reasons. I went, gee.
Quick little commercial. I want to thank Gino Powell and Happy Hippie the Vinyl Guy. There's one other person, but I forgot. I'll get him next to broadcast for being new subscribers to the Psycho Splatters Network. I always love having everybody for the Psycho Splatters Network. Also, another commercial. If you are a fan of the band, and we're talking 1965, Levon and the Hawks. Now, the reason why I am mentioning this here is because this was in a local free paper, so it may not go straight to the music part. There was a unearthed live recording from 1965 of Levon and the Hawks. And it has been put out on CD. Damn it. Where is that info? See, I didn't plan on doing an episode today, guys. I had to because like I said, I couldn't leave Schnee being empty. Where the hell did I? Well, that'll teach me. Maybe next time. But I'll bring up that information. But look it up in the Google. Maybe it's there. But it's $19 and some change, and you got to get it through PayPal. Yes, okay, Partridge Family. Okay, all right.
Hey, Doc.
Rotten old YouTube. Show your Danny Bonaducci album. All right, you're 45. So
I'm going to show Davy Jones in protest.
There you go. Fight the power for Davy. So speaking of, hi Hudson, monkey related news. Two different things. Number one, well, I should say solo monkey related news. I apologize. If you haven't heard already, yeah, that's right. Hi Hoops, or you said hoops, I think, but I don't. Oh, here comes the first joke already. Yeah, see, there you go. I was waiting for that, Dave. I wasn't sure which one you were going to do. So, 7A has announced there is going to be a EP being released in mid-March of more Dolan Sings Nesmith. Now, it's a 10-inch EP, 4 songs, blue vinyl. But see, I don't understand this. Okay, I looked at the list, and only one of those songs was not on the Dolan Sings Nesmith album. So I'm going, and it's a vinyl only release currently. CD has not been planned, and I'm going, what the hell? I said, and now I'm like, I took a look at the price. And remember, it's an EP, 4 songs. Mm-hmm. They wanted 26, and I'm going, Now, Amazon, that is not Amazon price. It has not been released as a pre-order to Amazon yet. So that will be coming up soon. So that's item number 1. Item number 2, Mickey is going back out on the road, and there will be upcoming solo. He's calling it Redo Part 2. I don't know why, but that's what he's calling it. You know, instead of the Mike and Mickey, it's just him redo. And And if you're a big monkey fan and you need Mickey's autograph, there'll be autograph opportunities for that too.
Nice.
That was it, I think, on the commercial side of the fence. I think
I would have put money he could go back on tour again. Not quite so soon.
Yeah.
But...
Right. Yeah, I think March. March is the beginning of the next the wave of the solo dates. I never thought I'd say that, of the one monkey standing.
Last monkey standing. Sounds like a TV show.
Yeah, that's
so
VH1 presents.
So Doc, I was scrolling on Facebook and under is it the people you may know section? I find your Facebook. So I got to remind myself to shoot you a friend request later.
Thank you.
I do like that it's got the Doc Docus license plate on the back of the car. That's really cool.
Oh, well, that's my license plate.
It's really cool that you got it personalized like that.
That's so all my fans know me when I'm driving down the street. I'm, look, that's got to be the Docus guy from YouTube.
Fact, I'll go ahead and shoot that request right now before I forget.
Yeah.
Doesn't it get annoying when Stud Muffin's following you around all the time?
I know. Get that Callaway guy out of here.
I know of those two, but I've never watched the channels enough. I know who they are.
We know who they are.
All right.
You two know who you are.
I showed a little bit of this last night in Groovy Lisa's stream, but since this is my stream, I just got short little finds. So whoever was on Groovy Lisa's probably saw these yesterday, so forgive me, although I have one new find. I found 75-cent CDs. I've got Elton John, Leon Russell's The Union on the Decca Classical label from 2010. I've been wanting to look for this. I love both these guys, excellent piano players. I'm a huge fan of both of their works, so to hear them together is going to be quite neat, I bet. The other one, of course, from the late 80s, Keith Richards' Talk is Cheap. Keith Richards and his expensive winos. Those are CDs. I picked this up for $3. I would have picked up a hell of a lot more, but like when they told me $3 each, and I'm going, I'm kind of a cheap ass. If I'm going into a thrift store, I'm not really expecting, but I could not leave from 1957, Lloyd Rice, Mr. Personality.
That's Richard Goldman's favorite.
And Lloyd, such an awesome singer. I mean, let's face it, Personality, Stagger Lee, just a whole bunch of goodies. And I had a pleasure of meeting this man right here in this town, 2 blocks down at the library back in 2009. Yeah. Him and Al Bell, the co-owner of Stax Records, both showed up. And this is the true story. So just throwing this out there, February is Black History Month. So when because Lloyd had a book at the time and Walmart actually took upon itself to sell this book. Okay. And so that's how Walmart kind of got in as a co-sponsor for this event. And so the thing is, they go and notify the Bentonville, Arkansas Public Library because Bentonville is Walmart Corporate Central. The dude at the Bentonville Library, true story, did not know who the hell either of those two were and said, not interested. They called the Rogers Public Library. And of course, the head of the event type stuff is a music nerd like me. And he quickly says, we'll take them. We'll take them. Just plan this out. And so this is 2009 we're talking about. So both of them are there. They put us in the small meeting room. This is the funny part about this. That was one of the first events that I was with Doug Fields' Final Grotto radio show, but I met a lot of the other Northwest Arkansas record collectors. There was a lot of old, grizzled, wizened people in that room. And unfortunately, half of them are dead now since then, okay? And so I'm trying to read the room, and all of these guys, except for Doug and me, were all like closed off. They didn't want to deal with the newcomer. Whatever, your loss. So I wish I know somebody taped the interviews because they did interviews with each of them. I want to say 30 minutes a piece for each. And so I wish they would release them. But the thing was, they were giving away prizes. They had prizes, and I said,
I love
"Ooh,
prizes.
you know, yeah, there was prizes." And so there was two things that I mean, they had like a half dozen, but there was the two things there was this big CD Motown box set, which I'm like, that would have been great. I didn't have that, but the top prize was Lloyd's new book, and I'm like, they gave us, the little stupid paper raffle tickets with the numbers when you come on in, like a carnival. So all these other ones get called. The Motown gets called. And I'm just sitting there going, and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, last one of the night, we're giving away the Lloyd Price book. And they, I had to say, I'm like, holy shit. So got that book. And of course, both of them say, hey, we can hang around for about a half an hour, and have pictures, autographs, whatever. So I had some Lloyd Price. I had an album and some ABC Paramount sleeves I got him to sign. And so so my buddy Doug, who like Tim gets into 70, you should see the collection that Doug's got for 78s, Tim. He had a Lloyd Price on the double L label. That was like his starting label. And Lloyd saw that thing, and his eyes bugged out.
Yep.
Along with there was a giveaway EP. I can't remember what candy bar it was, but it was an EP with the cover, and it was late 50s, and American Bandstand had something to do with this, right? So Doug shows him that EP, and he chuckles. And Doug's like, well, what are you laughing about? And he goes, I haven't seen one of these in a very long time. He goes, but would you like to know how much that I got paid for that?
Hey, Beans.
And we're all sitting here. I'm waiting for the
guys.
answer. You know it's coming. Zero. He didn't get paid a damn dime for that EP. And I'm just like, what the hell? Bear with me since talking about Lloyd, it's going to kind of connect into what I want to talk about. I know all of us here in the VC and the Peanut Gallery are intelligent enough to read a book. But if you'll permit me, there's 3 pages I want to read. I'll do the best I can. You guys can laugh at me if you like, because
I'm going to get my
I
pillow.
need these now. Yeah, go ahead. I need these. I know somebody already said, hey, that looks like Bob Saget. I go, shut up. So from the book, I Fought the Law, The Life and the Strange Death of Bobby Fuller, from Miriam Lina and Randall Fuller, which was Bobby's half-brother. Well, not half-brother, but Bobby's brother, who was in the Bobby Fuller 4. I touched on this last night. So we start off at the end of a page on when Bobby met Tommy James. Okay, so Bobby met Tommy James in 66. Tommy James entered 66 charts with Hanky Panky on June 2nd, less than a month after Roulette acquired Jack Deffenbaugh's 2.5-year-old Snap label from Pittsburgh record pusher Ernie Caution and promoter Bob Mack. The guy who played sax for Tommy, he quit because it was too hectic up there, said Caution, meaning New York City. He was more of a mild-mannered guy. He heard Nate McCalla say he'd take care of Bobby Fuller. Nate McCalla was an insider at Roulette and was also attached to Morris Levy. Bobby had made a deal with Morris Levy. Now, see, I didn't know anything until I read this. This book is from 2014, by the way. Norton Records published it, in case you want to get one. Reasonably priced. So Bobby made a deal with Morris Levy to sell his copyrights. At the last minute, he backed up a bit. Supposedly, Morris gave him the money, and Bobby Fuller didn't want to do it. Then Bobby Fuller was found dead. He supposedly swallowed gasoline. Morris also tried to get rid of Jimmy Rogers, James Shepard, wanted his copyrights back from Morris, and he was found dead. Frankie Lyman was found dead because he was going to see Morris about his copyright. I heard some of this myself when I was up at Roulette. Hank Ballard supposedly needed money, and Morris bought the copyrights off of him, and Hank wanted his copyrights back, and Morris said, no. Keep it up, and you're going to go the route of the rest of these guys, and Hank backed off. I heard that from Hank Ballard himself. Morris had a bad habit of not paying royalties. Duh. I had a contract with him for 20 years. The only reason I got paid was that I was brought in by Nick Sensi and John LaRocca. John was head of the mob in Pittsburgh. Nick Sensi was real good friends with Morris Levy, and he was also Roulette's distributor in Pittsburgh. Bobby Fuller most definitely met with Morris. You make a deal with Morris, that's it. You don't go back. Morris's enforcer, Nate McCalla, was murdered. He's the one who did the deeds, and they found him in Florida with his throat cut. If you ever get a hold of Lloyd Price, his manager was Harold Logan. He came up to see me, and he walked in with Lloyd Price because I was distributing their Double L label. Remember, I just talked about that. I found out that Logan had something to do with Morris's mob, and they found him shot. He owed Morris's money. Tommy James, in his book, Me, the Mob, and the Music, it seems that once a month, Morris would grab Nate McCalla and a few baseball bats, which were always in his office, and take off for somewhere in Jersey or upstate New York. It was a ritual. Nate fought in Korea. He was a decorated hero. He said, do you realize what the U.S. government taught me? They taught me to kill people, so that's what I do. And he was serious when he said it. New York's Richard Manzi's recollections support Caution's story. I had accessibility. Levy. My dad was involved with them, and it made it much easier for the door to be opened. I was hanging around at many record labels in New York, Lori Records, Bob and Gene Schwartz, Elliot Greenberg, and Ernie Maresca. I was a kid just hanging around, breaking balls, looking for records and buying records. Hey, I want to go in the studio, that kind of stuff. My parents insisted I get an education. Here I was in high school making con artist deals with my teachers, asking for one day off a week so I could do some work. One day became 2 days a week, very close with the Lori situation. And once I got involved with Morris Roulette, one day I go to Lori Records and they say, no, now you're Moish's kid. No, Rick, go over there. I was the gopher from that point on. He played me demos and asked me what I thought of certain records, very openly because of the background he had. Now, in case you're wondering, though, I'll go a couple sentences over. I've had access to documents, he said. It was an organized crime that kept Roulette above water. Back to James Shepard. Now, do you know who James Shepard is, guys?
Wasn't he an astronaut?
That's Alan Shepard. But James Shepard was in the doo-wop soul group The Heartbeats that originally started out on Rama Records. Their 45s are highly sought after, and if I remember correctly, there was a movie loosely based on that group. So he also was in Shep and the Limelight. He had influence over some of the younger performers. Don't go fucking near Roulette, James Shepard said. He's a thief. He'll sue your eyeballs out, and that's a fact. I heard that as a kid. That's one thing Morris Levy never liked to be called, and that's a thief. He never liked thieves. So when he heard him, when he said he may have respected certain black people, he said, but he looked down on blacks. This is Morris Levy we're talking. He thought they were low class, and that's putting it nicely. I heard him say, I'm not going to give him the money. What's he going to do with it? Buy a bottle of booze? James Shepard was found murdered in the street, and his pockets weren't empty. When you get mugged in Jamaica, Queens, there's not going to be any money in your pockets. Here's another story that was confirmed. I'm almost done, guys. There was this guy, Jimmy Rogers, back then. The word was that you don't leave Roulette. You get an offer from another label, I'll break your fucking legs. That's a quote. Jimmy Rogers decides he's going to take an offer from A&M Records. They found him in L.A. with his head bashed in. That was a hell of a message. That's the price you paid for leaving Roulette. Jimmy Rogers was not a name you brought up in the office. You never brought up anything about James Shepard. You never brought up anything about Bobby Fuller. I swear until the day I die on my parents' lives. Now here's our record collecting here. Okay, we talk about this for 2 seconds. That he saw a copy of. Okay, do you guys know the song "Let Her Dance" from Bobby Fuller 4? That was the hit before I Fought the Law. Good song, damn good song.
Don't play
He
it.
saw
You'll
a
get
copy.
banned.
Yeah, no shit. I saw a copy of Let Her Dance in that office on roulette on a white promo label. I saw that copy, and of course, I wanted it. It's not listed in the roulette discography. When I first went there, I'd go for coffee. He'd give me $50 bill, blah, 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 blah. But it says here, a listing of roulette record 45 RPM releases for 65-66 reveals 2 unassigned catalog numbers, 4635 in the summer of 65 and another 4685 in mid-66. Immediately before Roulette's 4685 Hanky Panky. Were they pre-assigned for Let Her Dance? Who knows? So there, I'm done with the reading time. But so, I mean, this is the thing. We love the hits. We love the people that make the hit, make the hit, not the main. The machine is cruel and vicious, and that's a story that's gone on since the beginning of time. But I guys would like to hear the Morris Levy shed of light. But get that Bobby Fuller book, guys. Even if you're not a big fan of Bobby Fuller, you ain't gonna believe, and I'm not gonna read anymore, but you won't believe how many near Manson. Yes, that's right. I'm going to tell Paulcast. There is a bunch of Manson references in here, either because this is true. In 1965 or 66, Charlie Manson first went up to oh God, what the hell's his name? He was in the Bobby Fuller 4. Jim. I'm trying to remember now. Damn it, I'm kind of off today, guys. I'm sorry. But it was his guitar player before Bobby. Bobby was in the group, but Jim was in there too. And hang on. We're going to show this bean. But then Charlie Manson went to Bobby, and he just shrugged him off. He said, "Look, I just don't have the time."
Yeah.
So so Bobby Fuller. That's another excellent book, Beans. That is an excellent book. That needs to be put in that rock and roll class that I was talking about, along with this one. This one needs to be there too. I heard they were going to make a movie on that Tommy James. I don't know if it ever got finished. So Kudahay's asking, what's the title of the book? It is I Fought the Law, The Life and Strange Death of Bobby Fuller by Miriam, Lina, and Randall Fuller. So, and that's with an E, not an A for Randall. But great book, 2014. Oh, and another thing that I did not know until I was towards the back end of this chapter, Randall Fuller attempted to keep going, of course, with the Randall Fuller 4, and then he broke up that in late 67. And get this, he ends up in Buffalo Springfield universe. Okay, this is where it even gets a little weirder. So he hooks up with Dewey Martin and Bruce Palmer. He hooks up with them. Yeah. And the new Buffalo Springfield, which there was some recordings, but they didn't get released. Then that gets killed, and then he jumps into Dewey Martin's Medicine Ball album on Uni from 70. I thought that was kind of interesting. And that was kind of it. Poof. Nothing else after that. You're welcome, Kudahay. I believe in spreading the word about really kick-ass stuff. Oh, and then I'm sorry. I know I kind of controlled the conversation, but leave you with one last thing. Found it for $1. I you know how I am with books. This one, Memories Are Made of This. Dean Martin Through His Daughter's Eyes by Deanna Martin, who Deanna Martin, if I remember correctly, was on in the background of a Monkees episode. Yeah. And she was friends with Davey, if I remember correctly, too. See, it all goes back to the Monkees, one way or another. But yeah, I mean, not only is Charlie Manson mentioned in this book, but They're from El Paso. Bobby Fuller is, okay, and their boys, and so was this beauty queen that went to high school named Sharon Tate.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Mm.
Sharon Tate was around, and then they go to L.A. and they go to get their hair done because
And JC rings.
Oh, no. He went to J.C. Brings. That's right. For the last year of his life, Bobby Fuller would go to J.C. Bring, and Jay's partner, who was dealing the drugs in the salon. So those names are mentioned too, and I'm going, oh shit! You're talking 3 years, 4 years before the Manson shit, and already it's like, here you go. Here's another weird connection, and then Manson wanting guitar lessons for Bobby Fuller. I'm like, what the hell? Just now, there's an example of he fought the law and the law won. That's what happened with Charlie. Anybody got anything interesting to offer up? And great for showing that Tommy James book, Beans. Kevin, well, I'm tired. Anybody else?
The whole music business has always been corrupt. I've been reading the Spicer book on the Beatles in America, and VJ never should have lost the Beatles, and that's just a fascinating story. It's a really good thing that they did, probably, but it's a really fascinating story.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just going off this. Maybe somebody's talking shit. I don't know. I
mean, like, if you like go with the narrative that the Beatles were a manufactured band, like they weren't. Like, because why would Capitol Records, like, you know, in America, like, you know, let those singles go out on these small labels?
Well, that was Dave Dexter, who was an idiot. And once the president of Capitol, a lot of people, the president of Capitol signed the Beatles or put out the Beatles records personally because Dave Dexter wouldn't do it. Epstein called him one day and said, "Why aren't you putting my records out?" And he's like, "Who are the Beatles?" And he calls Dave Dexter and says, "Bring me every Beatles 45 you got." And he brings them up. He spins them on his turntable when he signed them. He's like, "These are going out." He immediately, you know, but nothing ever happened to Dexter. But what happened with VJ was their president, who was doing a fantastic job for the label, unfortunately, also was a major gambler and stole like $400,000 to pay his gambling debts. So VJ couldn't pay the royalties to Trans Global, who was acting as the intermediary for EMI. They were only like $8,000, and VJ couldn't pay them, so VJ lost the Beatles contract. That's the part that people know. But the part that people don't know is that EMI at the same time was leasing VJ product, and EMI owed VJ $20,000. And they took that $8,000 out of the $20,000 that they owed them. So actually, VJ never should have lost the Beatles because EMI got paid.
Right. And that
there was
bullshit.
No contract because
so
EMI just took the money. So,
I knew someone that, like, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on. Go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So basically, VJ had, because Dave Dexter turned down the Beatles, VJ was given first right of refusal. And then they lost it when they didn't pay the royalties, which EMI took anyway. So technically, they never should have lost the first right. And Capitol were actually the ones that were legally wrong in putting the Beatles out, not VJ.
Right. So when I went to college in Chicago in the 90s, like I said, I went to Columbia for radio stuff. One of the teachers that I had, I can say his name because unfortunately he passed away. Horace Hill was his name. Very interesting character. He was involved in the late 60s, early 70s with WVON Radio in Chicago, which was the, at that time, if I remember correctly, the #1 black-owned black radio station, and VON stood for Voice of the Negro. That's why it was WVON. So he's involved in DJing, and he also was behind the scenes doing mid-level stuff for the station. But he also knew people that dealt with VJ. Okay, and towards the last couple of years, he was involved. I want to say 64 to 66 in a lower rung end of the record company, Tim. And he basically, what you said backed up what he said, and that the gambling bit. And it was like they would go to do these conventions in Vegas. I can't remember how many years, but like I want to say 63, 64, 65 at least. And they would always do that damn convention in Vegas, and he'd ring up the money, and it was always bottles of champagne, this, that. They said that if they didn't have those damn conventions in Vegas and he didn't blow through all that damn money, VJ probably could have at least survived through the end of the decade.
Well, they should have survived even with it, because they should have had the Beatles. Yeah. And you know, it's not. Yeah, Capital probably did have better lawyers, and because EMI owned the Beatles, and that was the other thing. EMI's, or one of VJ's lawyer was actually worked for Trans Global, who was suing VJ. One of their lawyers, and the judge didn't find any conflict of interest there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and like Trans Global and VJ were like so completely tied together that like it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Shit.
So for $8,000, VJ lost the Beatles for $8,000.
So that's the thing, though. I brought this up before when I brought up about the Swan debacle, where Epstein went to Swan and said, "Hey, you said you want to put out our next single. What's the next single? It's scheduled." He goes, "Is I Want to Hold Your Hand is the next single." He goes, "If you want it, there's a catch this time, because you kind of dropped the ball and she loves you. You got to buy in advance. This is the deal killer." But record companies, I guess, did this before for different leasings and shit. They had to purchase 50,000 copies up front.
Yep.
That's why it didn't happen, because Swan was having problems.
That's
my wrong door.
Nobody knows. Nobody understands why VJ didn't do that either, because VJ could have done that and technically saved the Beatles on their label.
Okay, I'm not worried about it.
Because then they would have had enough money to press. Then the records would have got pressed, and they would have sold the records and had enough money to pay the royalties. VJ should have done it too. That's mentioned in the book, and they didn't, and nobody knows why.
It's a catch-22, and you're absolutely correct, Poptopia. Blue Mountain Eagle was in there's a discography page in the end of this, and I forgot. That's right, Blue Mountain Eagle from 70, I think 70, 71. Yeah, it's amazing how VJ had 4 seasons in the Beatles and still lost it all. But as Tim already mentioned, if he wasn't a damn compulsive gambler,
well, when somebody steals, when you're a small company and somebody steals $4,000 from you, you need a major hit, and they got it. But the deal they made with Capitol to actually introduce or release introducing the Beatles and put out a couple more 45s cost them like $400,000, which was a lot of money, plus royalties, and and while they made enough to survive, they didn't make enough to survive for the long term.
Yeah, Kudahe brings up a point. I'm trying to remember. When did does anybody know here when 4 Seasons jumped from VJ to Phillips? Because I'm trying to remember like the last hit that they had on VJ. the Four Seasons?
Oh, that had to be like 63.
Okay. I just was
Yeah, it
curious.
was probably around the same time when VJ started going under.
Yeah.
They probably, I mean, because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm sure royalties needed to be paid for them too to someone, and I don't know if they were. And it was just, I mean, they literally. But I mean, can you imagine being a record company that's got like John Lee Hooker and Jerry Reed and Little Richard in a minute? They didn't have them yet, but
Right.
I mean, and you can't come up with $8,000 to pay your royalty check. I mean, that's terrible.
And that VJ, Little Richard 45, is a very interesting piece, by the way. He actually did two, but the one of the 245s for in 64, late 64, early 65, I think. It's Little
Yeah.
Richard, Jimi Hendrix, Billy Preston, all on that single.
Yeah, I've got two CDs. They're only 10 songs each. Little Richard VJ stuff. It's interesting. It's very different.
Oh, well, thank you. So Dawn was the first hit on Phillips in 64. Okay. Because all I know is of course one of the more highly prized Beatle collectibles, which has been talked about, Mayo and a bunch of other people, is really only valuable because of the cover, but the Beatles versus the Four Seasons, which was put out in 64 to milk all they could on both catalogs. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You be the judge.
Yeah, they had till October of 64, and then they paid $400,000 to be able to have the Beatles until October of 64, and then it was over for them, literally.
Damn. And VJ as a label was awesome. The blue stuff, oh my god! But yeah, I mean, Beatles and Four Seasons, and if I remember correctly, David Gates, I think, started there also in the Manchesters and something else. One of the more goofier records. Oh yeah, Frank Ifield too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Like $150 of the $8,000 was Frank Ifield royalties.
Yeah, no kidding.
Part.
But go figure, Groucho Marx, his daughter Melinda cut a 45 on VJ. That's actually sought after. I'm like, what? Melinda Marx on VJ, one of the last 45s. Wow. I don't even know if they made stock copies. They said it might have only made it to white label promos, and I'm going, what? I'm like, who thought that this? She wasn't terrible, but she wasn't great either.
You know what? I mean, like VJ could have gone on for longer if they would have not put all their eggs in the Beatles basket. You know, they had some great artists. You know.
Yeah, they did, but. Yeah, I mean, in a way, the Beatles killed VJ. Well, they didn't. Their president killed them. I mean, again, when you're that small in 1964, $400,000 is a lot of money. I mean, it's hard for anybody to survive that. It was basically all they had.
Especially back in 1964.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
That's like a couple, continents or something.
Yeah, and there's a pretty good 45-minute documentary on YouTube about VJ that I watched maybe a year ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
I'll have to look for that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really good. It's narration, and they're mostly showing pictures, but I mean, it's they got pictures of all the key people involved, and I don't know how deeply they go into the Beatles thing. They're mostly just talking about the label, and they talk about most of the artists that were on it. And fairly good, informative doc.
I just thought it was pretty neat, though. For like I said, going back.
Well,
to the Beatles stuff for a second. That 63, 64 was pretty damn good to be able to find. I mean, let's face it here. Okay, we had BJ Swan, Atco, MGM. Anybody else I'm missing here? I think it was before Capitol. I think it was those four. So you had all this Beatle product out.
Yeah, Tolly, but
For
that
that
was
year.
Tolly was
That's right,
VJ. Tolly was
Yeah,
a subsidiary.
Holly was like a VJ.
Was a subsidiary of VJ. That went with the Capitol deal.
Atlantic. Yeah, Atlantic. Like,
They got to VJ got to put "Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You" out as a 45 on Tolly because of the deal they made with Capitol after all the lawsuits and everything.
Nice. Tolly only made 18 singles. That's it. 18. And there are, other than the Beatles, there are 2 Northern Soul 45s. Big money if you can find them on Tolly. And I'm just like, so I'm always looking. I don't find too much. If I find anything on Tolly, it's like I said, it's either Love Me Do or the Twist and Shout, I think was on there too.
Yeah, I have both of those, and that's all I think I have on Tolly.
Somebody did a death 45. You know what I'm talking about? You know how like for a year or two, that there was all these death songs. Somebody did one on Tolly. I can't remember who the hell it was. I have that too, but that's it. I don't have anything else. Oh yeah, well Decca too, but geez, I have never seen stock or promo of that Tony Sheridan Beat Brothers My Bonnie. Never seen one ever. Only in pictures and books. That's it.
They must be all bought up.
Well,
Peter Brad has them all.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Back in '62, they'd probably be like, who the fuck is this? And threw it and hit a wall or something. It's like, I mean, I really don't know any Beatle collector that's got one.
I don't think I have one. I'm not positive. I don't think I do.
Jickets is right on this. Yeah, the promos are a lot or slightly more plentiful, of course, than a stock. I've seen what a stock looks like, but what was it? I saw something on one of the Bill Facebook page, the collector Facebook pages, that they pressed it in Canada back then, and the Canadian issue was not the color bar Decca. It was the star top, like the 50s releases. And I'm going, and when I saw that, of course, it made sense because, for example, I mean, I like all kinds of music, but I remember coming across, this was like a year or two ago, I was at a Goodwill in Northwest Illinois, digging through the 45s, and I came across a Psych 45 from 65 from a band called the Morlocks. Very good double-sider, by the way. Never heard of the Morlocks, but it was a very nice piece. But I said, because I looked it up really quick, I cheat. I use Discogs or YouTube, and I'm going, wait a minute, it says 65. It shouldn't have this. It should be the color bar. And then I look very small in the border. It mentions Canada, and I'm going, holy shit, that Canadian Decca continued that label design into at least 65. So
we sent that over especially for you to find.
Well, yeah. I mean, so imagine finding a Canadian 65 issue of the Who's I Can't Explain on that label. Yeah. That would be freaking awesome. I'd buy that.
I'll send you one.
I always love that
label. Doc's like, I got them all. I got them all.
Yeah. I've got a storeroom full of them.
Hey, he's got them all. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think I brought this up with you, Tim, in a previous stream, maybe you too, Kev, about the Oldies 45 label and how I tripped on a couple of those Beatle releases. And I also grabbed up, there was some doo-wop soul Oldies 45s. I grabbed them all for pennies on the dollar. I was just like, holy crap! They're not in the best of shape. They ain't minty, but I'd say they're between G and VG anyway.
I'm pretty sure some of those got bootleg too. There's counterfeit copies.
No, indeed, like they were counterfeited like a motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the
Okay,
problem.
kids, our show now.
I mean,
hey.
That's the problem. Is that if they were so counterfeit. Hell, I remember barely in the late 70s when I started collecting. Like hell, Woolworth before it closed. So this would be before 77 because it closed in my town. They were in the cutout bins. Sealed shit of introducing and
Oh yeah, they were everywhere. Every department store in my area had counterfeits of introducing the Beatles.
I remember like buying introducing the Beatles like with the brown border, like the completely like it's fucking fake, like and like buying it for $4.99, like I'm thinking like yeah.
Kevin, you brought up something here that triggered a memory to me here that was within the last few months. So bear with me, okay? Because even though I love the Beatles, and yes, this is steered to Beatles talk, but so what? The brown border is what triggered it for me because a friend of mine that owns the honey hole that I go to in central Missouri for records, he got in a Beatle collection, okay? And the last time I was there, I got that beautiful Swan She Loves You with the picture sleeve. Oh, it was so beautiful. It wasn't minty, but it was near mint, really nice. It was beautiful. So this guy has a box of albums. So I'm the first one to look through all this because I try to help him out. And the first thing that I saw, I'm flipping through, and I saw that brown bordered introducing the Beatles. And I said, hate to tell you this. I said, I hope you didn't pay. I tried to be not insulting to him but he wants my honesty. I said, I hope you didn't pay a lot for the albums because this is a counterfeit pressing. I'm just letting you know now. And I go, but here's the thing. So this is what I need your help on. Whoever would know this, okay? He had a butcher.
Ooh.
Now here's the thing. There was a description written in, I'll call it grease pencil on the plastic sleeve. Would there be any valid reason as to why? So you're holding the album in your hand, and obviously where the album is coming out of, so that side of the jacket. Would there be any valid reason because the person, not him, the person he bought these from, wrote on the sleeve that it was trimmed itty bitty bit, supposedly factory. I don't believe that story. I didn't tell him that. I simply said, I don't know enough information to tell you. You might have to look this up. Would there be any reason why it would be trimmed slightly? I do not remember how much, but it was a small trim job across the whole, I said trim. I said across the whole thing going down. That didn't sound right, but I know where I'm going on this.
No, I mean there are mispressings of covers and things. I've never heard of one being trimmed, but I've definitely seen covers that weren't pasted on quite right. I mean that happens, and then it gets trimmed after it's been pasted on. I've seen that.
No, I think he means where the cardboard hasn't been cut correctly. It's like when you buy a baseball card that when it got cut, it didn't get cut right.
Right. Yeah, that's a possibility too.
I know because I used to collect cards. See, I'm just nervous. I'm nervous because I'd like to. I know the price he's quoting, and I'm like, I wouldn't pay that price.
I mean, defects go out there. I can show you an interesting defect I have. Defects are out there. They're still out there today. You know.
Yeah, I should have taken a picture. I should have taken a picture with my phone when I saw it. I just didn't think enough
I'll show
to
you
do
an
that.
interesting-
But I really would like one. It is a first state. No, wait a minute. No, was it a first state? God, I can't. Maybe it was a peeled second, I think. But it was a real good peel job. There was barely anything left. Seriously, I think he got like 90% of it off. And I was just going, that impressed me. But yeah, I think it's a second. But yeah, it was slightly trimmed. But he claims it was at the factory. So I'm like, that's why I got nervous, because I'm going, was somebody trying to hide something? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't want to. I know he would cut me a good deal.
Well,
I just don't want to get burned. That's all. I'm ignorant on this topic.
well,
I've never seen a counterfeit butcher. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I've never seen one. Besides, they exist in that people make them and say, okay, this isn't real, obviously. I've never seen anybody try to pass one off as real. I'm not saying they wouldn't, but.
Right. What you
Okay,
find?
let me show you this real quick. Here's Tug of War. This is the reissue
hang on.
colored vinyl. I only brought
Sure,
that
let me
to show you this, which this is the 2-record set Tug of War that came out, the remaster, right?
Sure.
But here's the thing. You hold them together and look.
Huh.
This album right here is cut almost a half an inch too wide.
Weird.
It should be
very,
right
very
here.
weird.
It should be cut. It should be cut like a half an inch that way. And I've never seen another one like it. And it's weird on my shelf because it sticks out a half an inch past every other record. It's easy to find. It's just weird.
Huh.
It's total. But I'm just saying. So I'm saying things do get out still in this day.
That's neat.
I mean, that's
that's weird. Never seen anything like that.
No, I never had either.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm going to do more research on it, but I mean, it's in. Like I said, it is a second. I think I'll have to take a picture again, but it's a second. 90% of it was removed of the other cover, and with a slight trim. So, and I think as far as for the condition of the cover, like spine wise, was relatively good too. So, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. So I don't know. It's not like I'm going to go, here, take my money. I can't do that right now, but I know him. And, you know, if I do some investigating, I think he'd cut me a good deal, to be honest with you. So I always wanted that. I really did. You know, I know that it gets way over talked probably, but I don't really care. I mean, I guess, what is it? A lot of people are saying, hey, go for the third state. You know, at least it's there. And it's like, okay, I get that. And that would probably be, I would never, like, if I found a third state, I would never peel it. I wouldn't do it. I'd leave it alone, because the third states are getting rarer in that way, because everybody wants to peel it off. I would probably do a shitty peel job. Something tells me. So I'll leave it alone. But I'm not one of those lucky people that got to find one yet. That way. Not yet. Out of 42 years.
I think I've only ever seen one in person, and some idiot had tried to peel it and just destroyed the cover. And the guy wanted, at the time, this was back in the 80s, like $75 for it. Now it might be worth $75, but it wasn't in 1985 or whenever that was. That was just, they were only going.
You're right. This isn't. He's right. My brain is not doing well today. Yeah, he's right. So yeah, I would love to find a second state. If I can find one, that'd be great.
Yeah, I know, like, where there's a first state, like, or a second state, like, with the paste over. like my my ex-wife, like her aunt has a copy of it. I know where it is.
Here's my look.
No, she won't give it to me.
I want to answer Tammy. No, they're not. Every other one I have is the same size as a regular album. That one's just wasn't trimmed properly. Every other one I've gone to record stores and looked at that album and put it next to Pipes of Peace or whatever, and they're the same size, and I checked it out when I got, because I ordered that in the mail and I got it. I'm like, what the hell? So I checked it out at the time and I'm like, no, that's not right.
I probably should have got those.
You can tell it's not right because the Paul McCartney should be centered. And it's not. As you can see, it's a little off. It's not centered at all.
Yeah.
It's a little off about a half an inch on this side. If you trimmed about a half an inch off this, it would be centered.
I probably should have got those. My Barnes had them for 50% off at one point, that one in Pipes. But it's like the only one that I grabbed was the Archive Flowers in the Dirt. That's the only one I picked up so far from that. I picked that up in the George Harrison's Brainwashed on vinyl. That was a made in West Germany. I remember it said that, which I thought was strange at the time. But 50% off for both of those. And I'm like, Mom didn't raise no fool. And I enjoy the pressings. I really, really do.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of McCartney's pressed in the Czech Republic for whatever reason. That one doesn't say it.
But strange contracts all around the EU.
That one doesn't say it either.
I just can't wait for the London Town Back to the Egg.
Yeah, if whatever gets here.
We need product this year. They'll be coming.
As Paul hears this and goes,
Water Spout and Cage to come out. Just as real songs.
I would have released it, but Dickie Dolan keeps writing me stupid messages, and I finally had enough. I said, fuck you, Dickie Dolan. I'm not releasing shit. End quote.
Go buy Ringo instead.
Oh, man. A couple minutes, I'm going to wind this down, believe it or not. Like I said, short stream. I go back to work tomorrow. Yes, yes. No, Anybody got any? I know. Anybody got any interesting things coming up in the next few weeks? Any concerts, new release stuff? Yes. Hold on. Yes. I got to keep this now for you guys, for you yahoos. Because that's the only, until I can find my still sealed notebook, my still sealed Partridge Family. Oh, here goes Kev. Here goes Kev. I have that CD, Tib. I just don't know where the hell it is in my crates of CDs.
You don't have this one because this one's a one-off that I made. But I made the cover.
I thought that was the back of the greatest hits. Okay, look now.
Yeah, there are a couple greatest hits. I'll show this one in just time, just so that we're all different. Not that wasn't different anyway, but.
Well, thank you, Stephen. We try to educate and entertain here.
That
has been Psycho Splatter's creed for going to be 12, going to be 11 years. 11 years. On the 10th of February is when I started YouTube. February 10th, 2011. That's when I started it. Started the channel and started doing.
Adam has a question.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Adam Frescona, and I've got a question.
Okay.
Adam Paul doesn't know who Adam is.
Okay, we got a lot of questions for you. We got time for some questions.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I've got a lot of questions to ask.
Yes, sir. Adam, I think your name is in the second row.
Yeah,
Go
Adam
ahead, sir.
Frascone. Yes. I've got a whole bunch of questions. I really like to ask questions. Can you answer some questions?
2 per customer. So get your 2 ready.
Oh shit! I don't have enough time. I've got so many questions. That
I came up with this
Kimba,
the other day. This is Adam in like 20 years.
God. Kim, enter that contest. If you haven't done it yet, you have to the 31st. Doc, do you know what I'm talking about? Doc, I know you're in Canada, but get this Remind magazine. It's going to go off the shelf here next week. There is a giveaway of a $40 Partridge Family book, but it's a mail-in entry. It has to be postmarked by the 31st.
Yeah, and it probably has in the fine print, Americans only or something like that.
And I don't have the slip anymore, or I'd look.
Man, I betcha.
And like I'd like to do my Richard thing right now.
Yeah,
okay,
please do.
Go.
I need a good laugh.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Richard.
Not bad.
Oh, that never gets old. I love that. I haven't seen him in a while. I know he was on the Peanut Gallery in one of my streams recently, but he got pretty quiet.
Hi everybody, it's Richard and I'm back for another video.
We love Richard. And you know what? I'm going to put this out there. Double B is doing real good. Okay? I still am sub to him. I've seen his videos. And this is a good segue here. He did one for Happy Hippie the Vinyl Guy, that contest that's going on right now to spell out KISS. Gene Simmons' tongue not included. And ends February 2nd. So go to Happy Hippie the Vinyl Guy's channel. Proghat, I think, has got a contest, 1980. Go dig up your 1980 goodies. He says, come on down. In 1980, I was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Before
Yeah,
MTV,
it
wasn't there yet. We had pop clips from Nickelodeon and the USA Network. That's what we had for music. And I'm trying to remember, George Allen, I think, has got one too. So I'm going to be doing a couple more contest videos too. Oh yeah, that's right. Mellencamp's is coming out on Friday, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Cheer for Beers does have a new one in February. Mm-hmm. I'll be curious to check that one out. I have on pre-order the new Jethro Tull and Tony Martin, Black Sabbath. Those albums are on pre-order. So I'll be doing reviews coming soon. Mm-hmm. Did you see this? The pinup of Susan Day and the. Oh yeah, hang on a minute. I gotta show the picture of Susan Day.
Ooh, this should be good.
In the back. I was gonna say this
Kind
is
of like
the back.
Mad Folder or something.
Well, here's David. You could see David for 2 seconds. Hang on a minute. Now I'm wondering. Yeah, I saw that actually. I saw let's see. Of course, here's the guys on the bus, including the douchey kid that was in season 1 only, the biter.
The douchey kid.
I hated the douchey kid.
Oh, here's a good one because it even has Reuben Kincaid. Yes, you gotta have Reuben Kincaid.
Where's the dog?
Oh, and look, and here's him with his what is it? A hookah? Is it a hookah necklace? Am I not getting this right?
Yeah,
but there's
hookah shell. Yeah,
that's it. Hookah shell. Thank you. And that was it for that. But yeah, I'm not seeing unless it's more. Here's a half cute picture of Liza Minnelli. I'm not into her personally, but she did have good pair of legs. Better than Judy. Oh, poor Judy.
Yeah.
You know who does a really good Judy Garland impression?
Yeah.
I used to watch SNL when Bill Hader was on, and he would imitate Vincent Price, and he would do the Christmas specials and the Halloween specials.
Christmas specials.
And Judy Garland's popping pills, and she's like, she got Judy like dead on. She's like, where am I?
Oh,
what am I? I can't do Judy, but I'm
Kristen
like,
Wiig. Kristen Wiig, yeah. Kristen Wiig, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she did a good impression. And then, of course, my other favorite, Fred Armisen as Liberace. I was like, oh my God. And then I can't stand James Franco, but the episode he was in, he was James Dean in this, because this is set in the 50s. So you've got for some reason, James Dean has got, you see cutaway because Vincent goes, James, what's going on? And you see this weird typical James Dean look, but you're seeing Liberace isn't at the stool. He's under the piano, and he's going, God. And I'm like,
yeah. Fred Armisen is amazing. He's funny as shit.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Fred got good taste. But I didn't know until I saw Michael Pilmer's channel that he was a huge Devo fan. I did not know that. Now, Arneson, I didn't know this either, was in a couple bands in the Chicagoland area in the mid to late 80s, maybe early 90s. And I don't know why, because they threw a name out. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I did not know it. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, thanks. Thanks, Kimba. See, the power of the YouTube for good. Blocking
Fred
Armisen bad.
Fred Armisen was a huge punk guy. I mean okay.
Done. I gotta do this for everybody. This is for everyone's good in the world. I want everybody to have here we go. Here comes the segue. I want everybody to have a great day. Come on, Kimba. I got to get you off of here for a second. That didn't sound right, but I know where I'm going. Hang on. My stupid internet, son of a bitch. Why are you not coming off of there, Kimba? I did not know that Liza Minnelli, Pointer Sisters, sang back up on Muscle of Love for Cooper. Okay. Have a Susan Day. A Susan Day.
Happy Susan Day.
Oh, in 3D. It's like the House of Beef.
Kitty cat.
From Dr. Tug.
Dr. Tug, House of Beef.
Bruno, what do you want? Would you like a menu? I love that shit.
Which one?
And on that note,
Doc as like a Canadian, he loves that stuff.
Dr. Tongue?
He loves the SCTV stuff.
Yeah. I love SCTV. My God. So much good stuff up there.
Yes.
In the hall.
Whatever happened to Andrea Martin? I thought Andrea Martin was going to hit it big as she never did.
I had a crush on Kathleen O'Hara. I'll tell you what,
Catherine O'Hara, she is fucking hot as shit. Yeah. Still, she's a beautiful woman still.
I love Schitt's Creek. I do. I got my mom actually got me turned on to that show. I'm like, son of a bitch, Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara back. I'm like, yeah. And Eugene's kid's pretty funny too. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah, he is. All right, guys. I got to get up early tomorrow for work. I appreciate you guys coming on in here for the unfortunately interrupted Steve Schnee post-game show. You little.
We'll try again next week. Do it again next week.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody go to Steven's show next week for faith here. We got to have faith. So that somehow something can happen here, because it's not right for anybody to get cut off on just because we're playing music that's promoting the damn artist, so people buy the fucking records and the CDs. YouTube, as they cut me off now because I said that. But we love YouTube. We hate YouTube. It's a love. There's a fun between love and hate.
I hit the wrong one.
That's okay.
I might hit that one. No dings. No dings. No dings. Please, no dings.
Bellhop, take Dixie Normus's bags to room 69. Bellhop. I didn't even leave yet. He disappeared. Ding. All right. Love and miss you, Goth Angel. I want everybody to have themselves a kick-ass evening and a kick-ass tomorrow. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, here we go. Not only just have a good day, but have a good Susan day. All right. Take care, all. Love you all.
All right. Love all you guys. You guys are great.
Yep.
Love both you guys.
Yep. See you, Bean. See you, Paul.